we're going to learn how to connect this or basically any professional microphone to your iPhone. Now let's look at some of the different microphones we'll be connecting to our iPhone and how they might be used in different scenarios. We started off looking at this. This is the Rode NTG2 shotgun microphone and has a XLR professional microphone connection, if you can see that there. And is great for video production. That's one of its primary uses. It's also great in a lot of audio production capacity. It is very directional. If you want to focus the sound on somebody directly in front of the microphone, the closer you can get it to them, the better. It will pick up off-axis sound, but limit it. So you're primarily hearing what's in front of the microphone in any scenario. And it's wonderful for live video interviews and projects like that. Now, some of the tricks, in addition to the XLR input, it does require phantom power. So we'll look at how to get that 48 volts of additional phantom power into this and how to connect that to your microphone. Okay, let's start by connecting our Rode NTG2 shotgun microphone to our iPhone using our audio mixer. And again, we're going to use the audio mixer to both control the levels. Down here you can control the levels of the microphone, and you're also providing phantom power. That's what this little button here is lit up to show us. That's the 48 volts of power that the Rode NTG2 shotgun and a lot of professional microphones require to operate. Okay, so first we have to connect the microphone to the audio mixer, and for that we have our XLR cable, and then we'll loop around into our level 1. Now we need to get everything into the iPhone. First, this little headphone dongle that comes with your iPhone, since they got rid of the headphone jack in the first place. That goes as you would imagine. The only place it can't go on the iPhone anymore. And then we'll need this little dongle. There are a lot of these out there. This one's made by Rode, and it's specifically made to connect the a TRS output to a TRRS input, which is what the phone uses. So that will go into the bottom of our phone like that. I know right now it looks like just a chain of adapters and connectors. And then to get the audio from the mixer into the phone, we're just going to use a standard RCA left-right channel to TRS 3.5 millimeter audio adapter. So we'll find our main output, audio output, on the audio board. And again, in general, the white cord is for left channel, the red cord is for right channel. I'm just going to plug that in here. So that's what our setup looks like. It's a little awkward if you're trying to move around, but if you're doing studio production, it is actually fairly simple. And if you have a space, you can just leave it set up. And now let's turn on our audio recording app. For this, we're going to be using the Shure Motive audio recorder, and we're doing that specifically because it will tell us that it's using the external microphone to route the audio, just this external mic. The reason that's important is that some audio apps, I mean, if there's that don't tell you, if there's a misconnection or if a setting's off, it will just revert to the internal microphone on the phone instead of the microphone you want it to use. And if that's happening, you're not really going to notice immediately because you're still going to be seeing these bars bounce up and down. A quick way to test is to bang your microphone, and you saw that peak there for a moment. You can adjust your gain and do a few little basic things. But we're getting audio. Now, we're not getting great audio because the microphone is not pointed in the right direction. So let me flip it around here. It's now pointed at me. And you see the audio levels are immediately much better. If I want to adjust the audio levels here, I have a gain level, like a level set. I have an additional gain knob up here. And I can, a nice thing about an audio board too is that it'll let you adjust your lows, your medium, your high frequency audio to just tweak it just perfectly. You can do some of that in post, but it's a pain. Now, one thing I'm noticing right here is that this is way too hot. The Rode microphones, the professional ones tend to go a little hot, which is great for some preamps that don't record at a really high level, but in this case, we're all set. I can adjust the gain here, or I can even turn the gain down on the phone and turn this audio up here on the board to have a little more control. Again, the higher the gain is on your iPhone app you're using to record, the lower, the more noise, the lower quality audio you're going to get. And really, you want as little noise as possible. You can always add some noise cancellation in your post-production, but again, we'd like to skip as many post-production steps as we can. So we're getting a pretty good level here, so let's do an audio test. And now we're recording from the Rode NT-G2 shotgun microphone directly into the iPhone. You see our levels are coming in there. We're getting a great signal. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, the nice thing about a shotgun microphone, again, is they're directional. They're wonderful for studio applications. You can use them in the field. If you have a field recorder, in this case, this is a little too much to pack around. But if you're setting up someplace remote or you're doing a documentary shoot and you just need to record on the iPhone for some reason, you can do it right here. And if you pull up a video app, it will use this same audio setup. So even though you're using an iPhone camera to record an interview or a session, you can get incredible audio for that. And again, people will forgive low quality video. They will not record or forgive low quality audio. So there you go. This is how we route the Rode NT-G2 shotgun microphone into the iPhone using an audio mixer. And we'll include links to all the adapters and cords and stands and everything in the show notes. Another one that's very popular in audio production, radio production scenarios, and music is the Shure SM58. This is a popular vocal microphone, and it is incredibly directional. It's a cardioid microphone. It's meant to be in a loud, noisy space and hear directly what's in front of it. And you can get very close. The closer you get, the clearer that initial sound is wonderful for voiceover applications, podcast interviews, and especially if you're in a less than favorable audio environment for a podcast interview or any audio scenario, because popular condenser microphones that a lot of people are using really require a lot of soundproofing in your room, in a quiet room. With this, even if you're in a less than ideal scenario, get it close to your subject and make sure they stay right in front of the microphone element, and you'll get a great quality audio, even if you're in a less than ideal scenario. Again, this has an XLR adapter or connection as well. So we could do the same sort of setup with the audio mixer if we wanted to for like a sit-down podcast interview or something like that, and just route this microphone or a couple of these microphones into the audio mixer so you can have multiple guests and still record everything on your iPhone. But in this case, we're going to make it a little simpler for a potential run and gun type scenario. So instead of that XLR to XLR adapter that we're using, or the connection we were using, we're going to use this. So this adapts an XLR connection to a 3.5 millimeter TRS connection. This is, your standard sort of consumer connection. There are a lot of different adapters like this. This one's made by Shure specifically for this kind of application, and add some additional ground and things like that, so you have less interference on the signal. But a lot can work. Just make sure to read reviews and test out a few different items. So again, we'll just connect this directly into the back like we did our other microphone. And then on the phone end, same setup. We have the iPhone to the headphone dongle, and then our TRS to TRRS adapter. So we're going to plug that in. All right. And then let's load up our audio recording app. Same setup, and you'll notice it is switched to external microphone right away. What you'll also notice is that the levels aren't really moving. A couple reasons for that. One, this microphone is incredibly directional. It's not pointed at me, so it's not going to pick up a lot of that audio. And I also had that gain really low from where we had it connected to the microphone. So let's, again, old-fashioned test. You can see the audio level bouncing. So it's connected. We just need to orient it and boost that gain a little bit. So I can get that back up to 80%. You can always take it a little higher, but the higher it goes, the more noise. What I found with this setup specifically is that your record levels are going to be a little bit lower. But though, if you can keep them clean, it's a lot easier to boost them in post-production. So we're going to do a quick test. I'm going to get this here pointed at me, and you can watch the audio recorder there. Again, this microphone, you have to be a lot closer to your subject to get a good level. So let's go and start recording. And this is a test using the Shure SM58 microphone and routing that into our iPhone. Again, that level's fairly low. We can boost it up a little higher and see what we get. That's up at 95%. And of course, the closer I get to the microphone, the louder it's getting. Again, you're getting a lower level overall with this recording, but it's clean. And it also, if you're in a noisy environment and it's less than ideal for most interviews or recording, this will get rid of a lot of that background noise. That's why a lot of people use these microphones on stages during concerts. You have screaming crowds and cheering and all of that, and the microphone just picks up the singer, the musician. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another microphone we'll look at is a lavalier. Here's a wireless lavalier system. This is one of the older Sony wireless lav systems. It consists of a transmitter or a receiver and a transmitter. Here it's connected to a lavalier microphone you can hook onto someone's shirt or tie or dress. And basically they can be 10, 20, 30, 50 feet away from the camera or microphone as you're recording. We're going to route this into the iPhone. We're going to use a little different setup than we used previously. I'll set this here for a second. We still need our headphone dongle that we were talking about, but instead we're going to try a different adapter. This is an XLR to TRRS adapter. So it can plug directly into an XLR microphone and then output that TRRS signal you can route into a phone. This also has a nice option of providing a headphone output, which is great if you actually want to monitor what you're recording on your phone. Some of the other setups we look at make that a little more difficult. Like with the audio mixer, you can monitor the mixer, but you're still not monitoring the iPhone audio. This will let you get feedback on directly what you're recording on the iPhone. Not all apps make that possible. And then some apps, there's a setting you have to go in and switch to be able to actually monitor the audio of what you're recording. But here we go. If you have that, you make those changes, you can monitor that audio. To route the audio out of the transmitter, we have our XLR cable. So let's get this guy set up. Tighten it up. One of the nice things about professional audio equipment, there's a little screw there that it locks on, so it's not going to just get loose in the middle of a recording session. And again, instead of putting this into a board or something else, I'm going to put it into our adapter. So there we go. Scoot this transmitter out of the way. And here we're going to plug that into our headphone dongle. So this is our receiver setup. And again, if we wanted to monitor the audio, we could plug that in. And this is our transmitter. So let me get here and turn our recorder on again. All right, so you can see again, it has automatically picked up that external microphone, and we're off to the races. Now, audio level still a little low. We can control gain here, but to remember that the actual microphone is really far away. So let me get it closer to me and boost up our gain a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, not a super strong level, but if we're getting a clean signal, that's going to be great, and we can easily boost that in post without introducing a lot of additional noise. And that's what I've seen in a lot of the iPhone audio recording applications that you'll run into. Routing different microphones into the phone, unless you're using something like a soundboard to get a really strong signal, it is coming in low. So let's hit record. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're getting a decent enough signal, and be quiet. That's a low noise floor on there as well. So this should be totally usable in applications. Again, you can use this for audio recording. If you're doing an audio interview, you can just hook up the microphone to somebody and let them move around without worrying about chasing them with a directional microphone. Or for video applications, which this is ideal for iPhone video production, film production, things like that. You can even set up a remote sound person with the transmitter and their shotgun microphone and everything they need, and they can move around the set, and then just where you have your camera or your iPhone set up with your sound and everything, you've got everything right here. So this is actually a pretty good setup for moving and running about. And again, see, there's our little headphone icon, and click that. And ideally, if we had headphones plugged in, we now be monitoring our audio like we're supposed to for any type of multimedia production application. Now you can connect any professional microphone to your iPhone or Android device, whether that's for radio production, podcast production, video work, or live streaming video over Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Vimeo, or anything like that. Now, if you'd like to try this at home, we have step-by-step instructions on how to do everything we did here today at MEDIASHI.com. We'll include a link to that article in the show notes. We'll also include links to all the equipment, adapters, and devices we discussed during this video. If you have tried a different technique to route professional audio into your iPhone or have tried something else out, we'd love to hear about that too. So let us know in the comments.